so good to see you.
Hi, Zoya. Very good to see you as well.
All right, awesome. So we're just going to jump right into it. I met you at the FamTech event. Gosh,
Yes.
it must have been a couple months ago at this point. It was
Yeah.
winter. I don't know. It's all blurred at this point, but it was so great to meet you. And we just kind of started to connect offline chatting, and then you started to share your story with me. Likewise, I did as well. And one of the greatest things that we kind of came together as common ground was to realize that our problem founder fit is super strong. So maybe you just
Yeah.
kind of start out by sharing a bit about what that story for you is and how you came
Yeah.
about building the startup that you are.
Yeah. So, Karamacare really came to me because of how the whole hiring experience is. For me personally, I've been a nanny for the past, I want to say 11 years now this summer, which is like a while. And I always thought about the hiring experience as something that does not really reflect on the reality of the job or the reality of the parents of sorry sorry or the reality of the relationship between a
Yeah.
family and a caregiver. So that's when I decided, I can find a better way to sort of create a platform that has a common ground where families are heard and valued, as well as caregivers are have the necessary tools in order to present themselves authentically. So that's the genesis of
Yeah.
Karamacare. So essentially what we are is we're a childcare platform that connects families and caregivers based on compatibility, because in honesty, that is one of the driving forces for a healthy and also a very long relationship.
Mhm.
So that's what we do. So for us, instead of us just focusing on the transactional aspect of it, basically like, oh, we're looking for this pay rate, we're looking for this person, this
Right.
location, we dive deeper in it to find, I want to say, maybe nanny family fit, right?
Hmm.
So like, for example, I remember during my time as a nanny, I found an amazing family, but they hike like every single Friday at 5. And I'm like, I am not a hiker. But
Not a match.
not a match. Not, I mean, I'm like, I've been with your kids for about 12 hours. I'm not gonna hike.
Right.
But I was thinking, I'm like, I'm sure there's someone that loves to hike, that hikes for fun and would like think that this is an amazing perk, and this
Sure.
just goes so much. So it's all about the nanny family fit for us. And that is really what we are trying to create for long this word for longevity,
Yeah.
for the family, and also not just for the family, right? Because for the kids as well,
Absolutely.
very
Everybody
important.
involved, the caregivers, well, everybody.
Everyone involved. So essentially, that's what we're doing. And it's really personal for me because I've been doing this for so long. And for me, being a nanny isn't just a job. It's like, it feels like an extension of the family eventually. I've been with families for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. So that's just for us, and really translating the reality of the situation to the hiring experience to sort of streamline it, make it transparent, make it fair, and so on. So that's what we're
I love
doing.
it. And we immediately dove right as far as that conversation. I was like,
Yeah,
okay, first of all, I relate on so many levels because we did receive in-home care when our kids were really young in a way
yeah,
that, we've kind of prioritized the in-home versus daycare, which was, a total personal choice
yeah,
and many families that have the options to obviously take advantage of either or. But for us,
yeah,
it was that relationship, and it's just such a pivotal, it's implied, but just like dating, you have to come together on so many levels,
absolutely,
right?
yeah.
Of the piece of like how you're an actual member of the household in a way that even I
Yeah,
could not be a member of. Like I wasn't home with the babies. I mean, sadly, during that time, I mean,
yeah,
working parents, et cetera, working parent guilt as well as real. But
yeah,
spending time in a way with my kids the way that I wasn't able to. So in many ways, like her presence was even more important,
yeah,
for all of those reasons. So I love the match component to that, and the nanny family fit is definitely a thing implied,
yeah.
and yet probably not systemically insured in a way that
Yeah.
perhaps your platform better
And
contemplates.
also, and also vice versa. Just like the family needs to find a nanny that sort of can smoothly enter, as well as the nanny needs to make sure that the family that she's entering, her skills and her experience is maximized, right?
Yep.
Because again, this isn't just like a corporate
Good
job.
job. Yeah.
You get attached to the kids. Like I cry every time I'm transitioning because in most cases I've been in positions where I've spent more time, like like a crazy amount of time with the kids, like more than the family itself. So it's a really emotional, it's really yeah, it's like a relationship in a way. And I
100%.
and I don't understand why personal aspects have not been incorporated. Well, that's why we're here.
That's right.
But
No, no reason to ask why. We're just going to do
yeah,
that thing and
because
feel
yeah,
better. Very
yeah.
cool. And so immediately from there, we started to kind of dive in. And when we exchanged as to, what I was working on with Orgo, and at the time it was pre-launch. Obviously
I
now we're
was I
post-launch.
was so excited.
Because in that same conversation, we're
Yeah,
like, okay, so now the family founder fit, or the family nanny fit rather,
yeah,
is found. Great. And so
yeah.
now every relationship, no different than this one, natural kind of healthy friction arises, right? Like now you're starting to learn each other's languages. And there's
Absolutely.
certain families that have a higher degree of communication
Mhm.
needs, or they have a higher degree of precision that they require,
Yep.
level of control. And so now we start that administrative back and forth. I don't mean to steal your thunder, but maybe just share in your own words so much of that administrative overhead that starts to kind of kick in,
Yeah.
and a lot of what's happening on the ground between the nanny throughout the day and the
Mhm.
parent who's not necessarily in the home.
Yes. So we spoke about this. The moment that you showed it to me, I was like, oh my God, because it is the most complicated admin, back end, whatever you want to
Mhm.
call it. Especially so New York City nanny land is a whole different
The
situation.
wild, wild west, baby.
It's a wild, wild west because there's so many of these parts, moving parts. You have the parents, and then you have family members who are helping with the kids. You have, in many cases, household staff. You have, in many cases as well, more than one nanny. Like I was in a household with about three nannies, all working alike, all working because kids have activities. This
Yep.
has soccer, this has ballet, they all end at 3. This has to pick this one. Oh no, the nanny is sick. This, we have to find a
Bring
replacement.
in the next nanny, fill her in.
Fill her in, not available. Grandpa, can you? Auntie,
Yep.
can you? So, and all of this is done through text.
Yeah.
So imagine this happening 30 minutes before pickup, before it's time to pick the kids up from school. And it's like, I'm getting text messages, I'm getting emails. Email said, Granddad is going to pick. Oh no, Granddad can't. We got a backup nanny through text. So you're like, right? So it's
It's
like the back,
stress. It's like
it's
high
like
intensity
really,
stress.
it's really stressful. And then the kids are like, what's going on? Because
Yeah,
when
they
they
don't feel in control, right? Because they're the
no,
ones
they
that's
yeah,
being done to. They're not in control
exactly.
of their day.
No, no, and also for me, when I work with families, with kids especially, I found that routine is
Mm.
the mother of peace of mind
And
when it comes
predictability. Like you just
to
know that this is the day.
and they just know. They know that okay, I'm getting picked up at 3:30. I'm going to ballet, I'm going to this, I'm going to that. Oh, Amina's supposed to pick me up. Oh, Amina's not there. They start getting nervous. What's
Yes.
what's going on? What's going on? And also with the older kids, I've worked with older kids that is like when there's changes, I will text them. I'm like, okay, this
Mm-hmm.
is gonna happen. So just don't feel nervous if I'm not at pickup because
That's
I'm
so
handling
important. It's
I'm
psychological safety.
it is psychological safety as well because then they get nervous and then that is just the beginning of a very terrible night because tensions are high, confusions, dinner time goes
Yep.
bad, bedtime. So it's just like very stressful. So that's when I saw what you were doing, I was like, oh my God, like this can help in so many ways because it's like in most cases it's either the household manager is going to be the one that's responsible or sometimes the parents, which isn't great because it's like they're working and
Yeah.
then the household is like discombobulated and
Yes.
they're like trying to help out, but it's like with what you're doing is like everyone in the ecosystem has sort of control, and that is super important because that is such like a huge problem
Yeah.
as especially with huge households, let me
And
tell
again,
you.
this is way after the nanny family fit, right? Like
This is way
everyone's
after.
romanced each other. Everyone's like on the same. I like to hike. You like to hike. We're all hiking. But what happens between Monday and Thursday prior
What
to the
happened
hike
exactly?
is
What
where all
happened?
of this madness
What
occurs.
what so it's like what happened, yeah, it's what happens between Monday and Thursday. And then as well as sort of the nanny family fit is that, is this a nanny that is that is flexible? Is this a
Yeah.
nanny that can go with the ties? Like there are like some households that are more crazier than the Brady Bunch,
Yeah.
and it's like, is this nanny strong-willed enough? And that's where we want to sort of have that, have everything down, like this is who we are. Can
Yeah.
you take
These are
us
your
through?
strengths, much like
Yeah,
you would be in
exactly.
any role.
Exactly. So it's like, can the nanny accept the family for who they
Yeah.
are? And can the family accept the nanny for who she is? And then that is just the foundation. Now, the
Now
day
the work
day,
begins, right?
the day to day begins. Like, great, you have an amazing bond with the kids and the family, you understand everything is peachy, but then major confusion can come where, if there isn't communication, like
Yeah.
very clear
It all
communication,
comes down to people just communicating with people. And
communicating,
then
and then
when
it's
that
hard,
disconnect happens, it's stress.
and then it's also hard because it's like the whole situation of families and the family ecosystem, it's not like a corporate job, like, you come, you sit at your desk,
Boundaries, right? These are your
boundaries.
law.
No, no, it's like I'm in these people's homes. The nanny is in these people's homes, right? Her job, or his, they, them, their jobs is to make sure that a household is smooth
Yep.
and everyone knows what they're supposed to do. But then if there is communication, like, it is very unpredictable. A
Yep.
nanny can get COVID, she can get the flu, and this person's not available, this person's not available. So it's a
All
matter,
falls apart.
everything falls apart. Like, all it takes is one nanny to get sick,
One
one
piece of the
caregiver,
puzzle and it's
and
done.
it's like activities being canceled. Okay, no soccer. What are we gonna do? So, like, it's a lot,
It's
and
a lot. And if I may just also sit on the
yeah,
parent side of the house, which is where, the
yeah,
problem founder fit is strong for the reasons that you've described, certainly with Karamacare and then with, for us
yeah,
with Orgo, is that now I'm sitting on the other side of that, well past the stage where we had in-home care. Now we are kind of in the wild. We are subject to, yes, other caregivers that are coming along, whether it's, various different forms and sizes and shapes, whether it's my mom, whether it's my mother-in-law. At the point we had a babysitter, now the kids are old enough where that's not the case. Now it's just logistics management. And it's exactly that appropriation of like, who's going where and getting the right
yeah,
people to the right places on time. That becomes a very time-based, highly stressed
yeah,
formula to abide by. And we all take it very seriously because we pay for these activities. The kids are committed. We're trying to teach them a lesson, showing up on time, being respectful, obviously participating in all the enriching activities that we sign them up for, youth sports, etc. But at the end of the day, to back into that timely arrival where that benefit can actually kick in, there's a lot of that chaos that precedes
yeah,
it. And we like normalize it for some reason. Like,
mhm,
just like you were asking the question of why, there hadn't been a better solution that kind of,
yeah,
did matching a little bit better in your industry. I'm just kind of looking within the household and I'm saying, why are we normalizing this runaround?
yeah,
Does it make us feel busy in a sense that justifies that this is the parental experience and
yeah,
thus that's just kind of the thing that's supposed to happen? I don't question the busyness. I don't question how much we overschedule ourselves. That is a norm, frankly, and also a highly personalized, decision that a family makes. But the way with which we manage that administration is where I take issue. Like,
yeah,
technology should be coming further enough along and into our home to
yeah,
benefit this negotiation that's happening over text, and there's no place to land it. Like,
nope,
it's fine if you want to communicate that way, that's where the conversation occurs, but where does it get memorialized such that when it's time for you in the field, on the ground, in the home to go and do that thing, you have a gold record, right? A gold copy record of like, this is my day and that's the kids' day, and then everybody's on the same page. Like, that as a technologist is an issue that
yeah.
I've had all along with kind of the limited tools that we've had. That's
It's
my rant.
normalized chaos. I like to call it
Yeah.
normalized chaos because we think that anything that has to do with children or anything that has to do with the logistics from moving from point A to point B is normalized. But then the truth of the matter is it doesn't have to be like that. Like we've come with makeshift. You can think about it. I've had boards, like boards yay big, this high,
Spreadsheets.
spreadsheets. You've
Yep.
had you've had everything. And there is ways to make it simpler and ways to make sure that okay, everyone knows what's going on. And I think the most important part of what you're building is the art of the unexpected, right? Because
Change is
I
constant.
changes and I think that that is like so big because within a week you will have anywhere between 3 4 5 changes like
Easily.
and me having to go to email and sometimes I don't check my personal email that
Right.
often.
Yeah.
So like I'll give you an example. One time the kids that I'm taking care of, they're go to school on the Upper East Side. So on Tuesdays I usually pick the kid up and take him to soccer. In the email, it said that he didn't have school because of a conference. But what the email is that it's basically the copy and paste from every single week. And then just a tiny bit of changes are added.
Yeah.
So if I read it, I'm like, okay, this looks like the same. Like if I skim through it, but then if you look in, you see that, oh, there are a couple of changes. So I got off at 89th and first I got off at 86, walked to First Avenue, only to find out that there's no school. And I had to walk all the way back to 95th and map.
Details matter.
No, because people don't like understand. Like that is a 30-minute walk in and out,
Yeah.
give or take an hour walk.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, it's my fault because they didn't pay attention. But it's like,
But
it's
is it, you know
but
what I
no,
mean? It's like you're busy, everyone's busy, you're trying to like keep up with the
yeah.
flow of it all. It's too much. It's a lot. It's a lot.
And that I think is like going to be the game changer and it's going to help a lot of families. And I can't speak for other states, but I know that in New York City, kids are worked, they have different activities, sometimes 2, 3 activities within a day. You got music, piano, hockey, whatever the case may be.
Guilty.
Classes get canceled. I worked for a sports family. Today we're playing at Central Park. Next day we're playing at Van Cortlandt. It's like
Yep.
it's a lot.
I
And
will
all
tell
the
you, this is an
yeah.
epidemic that is not specific to the city. I will assure you and attest
Okay.
this is a
And
suburban
testify. Okay.
situation, and I also would argue that this is a generational norm, that we've
Yeah.
invited this. It's not chaos. We've invited this higher degree of
Mhm.
operating, like at a higher
Yeah.
speed. And then COVID gave it like respite and a quick pause. And I
Yeah.
distinctly recall, as such a sports family that's completely overscheduled, we remember being, at a time that everything was completely turned off and we were a family and we were like doing family jump on the trampoline that we all of a sudden sanctioned where previously we were not allowed to have it. So like we've got all this family time, right? And we looked at each other, lovingly in the eyes and we're like, never again will we overschedule. This will never happening. The
Yeah.
second that businesses opened up, applications were flying. We were like submitting everything to
Yeah.
everything because that is just normalized. And I talk about this all the time. Like what's personal to us and the speed that we're able to, take on as a family. And then you look around and you're like, oh, but like Timmy is trying out for like travel. Oh gosh, okay, it's time to go from rec to travel. So you get these external pressures. And even though you yourself are within a particular lane, there's a lot of external, factors that kind of
Yeah.
sway us into the craze, into the eye of the storm. And so here we all are. We are operating at a higher speed. And I think we just need better tools to keep up with it all, both on the care side of the house, right? Better precision, better matching, care that's coming in to be effective day 1 + 1 hour. It's got the skills to also feel successful. Because I mean, there's nothing worse than a caregiver coming in or anybody on the job, any role, coming in and being like, you know what, 2 weeks in, like this isn't for me. That's
Chaos.
awful.
It's too much. Yeah. I have definitely been in situations like that, but I like to take it as a challenge. And I would like to say that I have helped a lot of like not a lot like a handful of families with that situation again when it comes to routine. And then when you are honored enough to get the kids to get on the routine, it's now
Yeah.
about making
Oh,
sure
it's
that
a it's a smooth, it's execution mode at that
and
point.
it is, yeah, and to make sure that it is consistent. And also another thing that I wanted to add is the generational shift when it
Mhm.
comes to the incoming parents and incoming caregivers as well, but
Mhm.
mostly on the parent side, because now we have late millennials and early Gen Zers entering
Yes.
the parent world. And this is a generation where uses technology to streamline their lives.
And expects to.
Like
And if it doesn't, there's a level of disappointment and a gap.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Immense disappointment, and our standards when it comes to technology and how technology helps simplifies our lives is higher. So these um outdated methods that are being used, such as communication through a caregiver through text, or whether it be not finding a right caregiver to fit the family, like we
Mhm.
care about that, and we want that to be incorporated into our
Love it.
daily lives. So again, in 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, when maybe I'm having kids or people my age are having kids, we're not going to want to do what is currently happening right now of texting. We're gonna be like, this is too much for mental
You're
health.
like, I need an AI assistant stat.
Yeah, like no, like because but then again, we have these affordable ways, like what you're creating to help, make sure that households are running smoothly, and that is amazing. And I cannot wait to use it. Like I sent it to all my nanny friends and all my parents and all the parents I worked with. My boss friend, I was like, oh my God, like I love things like this. And I'm like, okay, that's good. Because we have
Amazing.
3 kids in our households with numerous activities and stuff, and this just
I will tell you, three is the magic number that breaks you. Two
yeah.
is hard, one is a lot, 100%, not to diminish anyone else, but three is that number where all else goes to hell and you are just survival mode and you're just trying to, it's like guacamole, like you're just trying to like keep them
Yep.
up from popping up in places. So I appreciate the good word being spread. Since you like a challenge, we'll work offline to make sure that, we can get some real testimonials in case families are in fact being onboarded in a way that we
Like,
can kind of feel the value of that, because that's essentially what we're designing for, is to just enable daily life in a way, tech enable daily life, I
mhm,
would say, in all of the wonderful ways that you've described, generationally, current generation, incoming generation, and
yeah,
just ease that burden. May is, mental health awareness month. This really ties into
yeah,
that unspoken burden, those everyday anxieties on the parts of the kids, on the part of the caregivers, as well as the families, that just, it's daily life. It's a lot. It's a lot. So
yeah.
I appreciate you sharing your story with us. I love it so
Thank
much, and
you.
I love what you're continuing to build as well. Tell us real quick where we can find you, and also what stage in the community building process as well as the tool building process you're in.
So you can find us at www.karamacare.com. Currently, we have our alpha out. We have a website that is inviting families and caregivers to join as well as to sign up. We are in the works of building an app, so we should have that out by late July. So that's exciting. Right now we're just trying to build community around New
Yep.
York City. So we're inviting all parents or caregivers to join. One thing that's really special about our platform is that we're able to create our users are able to create robust profiles. So just think of it as a dating app, but
Yes,
then it's instead of
double-sided.
yeah, so instead of love, you're just either finding a job or a really amazing caregiver. For the caregivers, we allow you to share your profiles to tell us exactly what you're looking for, and you can share that with any families that you're working for. Right now, we're gonna start doing events, and we're gonna start having pop-ups. You guys are gonna see us a lot outside this summer and on social media. We are on TikTok at karamacare.com. We're just building our community, and we are so excited
I
to
can't wait. We just got onto TikTok too. I was like, oh God.
oh my
Speaking
God,
of
how is that for
Southwest,
you? I love TikTok. It's so fun. Hopefully they don't take it away from us.
someone better buy it so we can kind of keep going with what
Yeah,
we started. So
yeah.
I love it. Well, I mean, and thanks for catching up. I love it
Thank
so
you so much,
much.
Joya. Thank
All
you. It was
right.
really happy.
I'll see
Bye.
you at one of those events, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
All right.
Bye.
See you soon. Bye.